Hey everybody, it's Curtis, your man, Mr. Hot Fitness, coming at you with episode two of Hot Fitness Online Global Transformation and Training Services. Today's guest is none other than Brandi. We met back in January at a TikTok meetup of all places in Kentucky. Now, Brandi is wheelchair bound, but that doesn't stop her. She's a go-getter, and we're about to check out her story today, her journey about 5 months in with Hot Fitness. Amazing, beautiful woman out there smashing her goals, smashing her dreams, and not letting excuses stand in the way of the things that she wants in life. So without further ado, let's get this interview started. Brandi, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Getting over some allergy stuff, but I'm doing all right. Where do you live? You don't have to be too specific. What state you live in?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. How's the weather?
Hot.
I love hot. I love that. It's that time of year. I love your hair. Looks like you recently changed it.
Yes.
Popping.
Thank you.
Works for you. You're gonna have to show off your shirt for me real quick though. Beautiful. Love it. All right. So everybody, this is Brandi. Brandi, how long ago did we meet? Did we meet in Kentucky?
Yes.
We met in Kentucky. Yeah.
In
At, at,
January.
at a TikTok meetup in January.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's July 19th now. And you started working with us very shortly after that, didn't you?
I think it was March,
March.
maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'd have to pull up the records and see exactly.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly.
Do you remember the mind space you were in at the time?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about like Brandi pre-Hot Fitness.
Um, I was just going through the motions. Um, I was very down on myself. Um, didn't think I deserved anything. Um, being beaten down by my situation at home and just kind of letting it happen, um, and just not happy at all.
Yeah. I talk to a lot of people every week on consultations, on lives, things like that. It's not uncommon. It's not uncommon for men or women to get in that
Mm-mm.
place. How long? Like, what's weird to me is like, for me, when I was in that place, I didn't realize it, how long I had been there until I had just seen other people basically. Like I contrasted my situation against theirs, and I was like, wow, I'm unhappy. How long do you feel like you were in that place before you realized you wanted to change?
It's been years, um, and before we met, I had known that I wanted to make the change, that I needed to make some sort of change, that my situation needs and needed to change. Um, and it took certain people actually coming into my house and seeing certain things, um, about how I was being treated and things like that, that really, I think, set off the light bulb.
What do you think about us as humans that we become really complacent and allow certain people to treat us in a way that we know is not okay? Why do we do that, do you think?
I don't know.
It's weird. I've done it too.
Yeah,
That's why I'm asking. I'm not the life coach for the team, but social behaviors and human interaction has always fascinated me. And
yeah.
why do we do what we do, and why do we allow what we allow, and why do we choose to do the things that we do daily?
I
So
think a lot of it has to do with, depending on what you've been through in the past.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can be a certain person in, say, high school, and full of energy, full of, you know, this light, and then just go through certain situations that just chip away at you. And then
Yeah.
you get to a point where that's what you think that you deserve.
Yeah. Yeah. And it can be hard to get out of that mentality. So the mindset, um, has your mindset changed at all since you began
It
with Hot
has.
Fitness?
It has. A lot. But I mean, obviously there's still going to be days.
Sure.
There's weeks, depending on, you know, what is going on in life or hormonally or whatever. There's always going to be those days.
Yeah. I look at like personal growth and transformation, at least in my experience, as kind of like those graphs that you see on a certain stock and they're telling you how valuable the stock is. And, you know, it'll shoot up and then it'll drop down. And then it'll drop and go up and it goes down like the stock market. But, you know, what I look at and I try to look at is the big picture, especially when I'm analyzing my own personal growth and development or that of my company or that of my clients. As long as the trend is upward, even if there's dips and lows, as long as we're still reaching new heights and new personal growth, to me, that's a very valuable stock. And
Yeah.
that means that person is seeing that they are a valuable person more and more, even with the lows.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think some of the biggest, well, tell me a little bit about what are the biggest mindset breakthroughs that you've had since starting with the global transformation training? What you're willing to
Just
share.
gonna put it out there.
Whatever you're willing to share.
Oh, okay. Well, for years, I have not been treated very well in my marriage. And years ago, my husband was diagnosed narcissism. And because I was so in it, I was like, nah, I don't see it, because I was very blind to a lot of things. And then over the last few years, I started seeing it more, especially in the last year. And I knew that there were things that I was letting slide because I felt like that's what I deserved. And over the past few months, I've gotten to the point where I know I deserve better. I know that there are certain things that I don't need to be tolerating. And I finally got up the nerve to actually sit him down for 2 hours straight and tell him exactly everything, like laid it all out.
Wow.
And said, you know what? If things don't change, I'm not going to be afraid to walk away for me.
Like after all these years of that building up, um, how how did that feel? How exhilarating? Like, how much courage did it take? Was there a lot of fear involved in that conversation? Like,
Oh, yeah. Oh, it was, what was it, last week or the week before? My anxiety was getting so bad that I couldn't function. Like it was really bad. I can't even describe. And it got to the point where I word vomited. I was like, look, this is what's going on. This is what I deserve. This is what I need. And it just, it felt like a weight was lifted majorly.
yeah,
I mean, there's still that weight, And there's still that, you know, things haven't changed a whole lot like they did for the first 48 hours. And then it went right back to everything that has been going on. So there's still the anxiety, there's still, you know, the nervousness and trying to figure out what my next step's going to be.
Sure. But
So.
taking that first step though of being actually pretty vulnerable but truly authentic with another human being, especially that you're sharing a life with, that's a huge step in personal development and just authenticity. Because so many times, like, you know how it is, like we get this vibe in the world that people have a tendency to always cater to the other person or always tell them what they think they want to hear or always become submissive in one way or the other, and they lose their sense of identity, their sense
Yeah.
of self, and they bury that part of themselves
Mm-hmm.
to appease either some social group or, you know, some social media platform. And we just want to you know, we're afraid to be individuals, be ourselves, because we're afraid of not being accepted for who we are.
Yeah.
So doing what you did, though, in my opinion, takes a lot of guts, takes a lot of courage and strength. In my personal opinion, I think that's terrifying because so many people will live for decades without
Yeah.
ever doing that, and they live in unhappiness. But you decided at some point along the way that you have some sense of value, some sense of self-worth,
Mm-hmm.
and you're creating some sense of boundaries for yourself. What other goals? I remember when we first met, but I'm gonna let you tell most of the story. When we first talked and we did our consultation, you listed some things uh, about, you know, physical training and, you know, just aesthetic goals for your body that you wanted to achieve. But there was a lot of goals that you had outside of, let's just say, health and fitness that you wanted to achieve. And you've been making strides in those areas as well. Not without turbulence and not without obstacles, but kind of coming out of your shell quite a bit, to be honest with you. So you want to talk about those as well?
Um,
Like
Gosh, I don't even,
the job thing was
oh
a
yeah.
huge thing.
Yeah. I hadn't worked in over 11 years, and that was actually one of my first steps to trying to get, you know, financially stable and kind of get my independence back and show myself that I could actually do stuff and I didn't have to depend on somebody else. Um, so a few months ago, I decided I was gonna apply at a temp agency, and then they hired me on, and I worked for a month, and then I got laid off because of COVID.
Hmm. But after 11 years, you made a goal, you set a plan, you took action, you started filling out applications, and you got a job.
Yep.
And that confidence boost right there, I remember the day exactly because the cool thing about you, which a lot of people watching may not know this as of yet, but you're extremely inspirational to a lot of people because while a lot of us sit around and make excuses why we don't do this and we don't do that, you actually have some physical limitations that most people don't have, and you don't use it as an excuse or a crutch to hold you back. So there is a fighter in you, no matter what part of your life you're working with, that that I love. I love that quality in people. That's everybody knows I love Rocky Balboa just because he was always the underdog, and I can't watch the damn movie without crying. It doesn't matter which one it is, I cry because I've lived through some serious struggles, but nothing like a lot of people I know. You know, even the stuff I've been through, I don't equate it as the same level. So, um, talk about your physical limitations and what training has done for you, and how that's helped you.
Well, some people know, some people don't. I'm in a wheelchair. I was born with spina bifida. Excuse me. About 4 years ago, I ended up with urosepsis and lost all of my strength completely. I couldn't lift myself up. I couldn't sit up. I couldn't roll over. I couldn't go up and downstairs on my butt because I can't walk. So,
Yeah.
But I couldn't do anything. Um, Within the first month, I think it was the first month, I had lost 11 pounds and I gained a lot of strength. I can do a lot more than I was able to before. And I just keep pushing myself every day.
Yeah, I remember one of the first goals that we set. You were really hooked to a certain beverage. I can't remember which one it was. And we were just talking about water and how you would introduce more water. Pepsi. Yes, Pepsi. And how our goal wasn't to eliminate Pepsi completely, but just to introduce more water intake to lower the
Mm-hmm.
Pepsi intake. Um,
Yep.
and I remember you had found a water that you really enjoyed. And what are you drinking there?
Water.
Water. Yeah,
Just straight water.
just
And
straight water.
it's not sparkling water. It's just water.
Yeah, it's amazing. So you've been with the company long enough that this year we've underwent a lot of growth on a global scale. You've seen people come and go. We've hired additional team members. You've been with us for quite some time.
Yeah.
Tell me about your experience. First, let's start with Courtney and your experience with her in your live online training sessions.
Oh, I freaking love Courtney. She kicks my butt. Oh, every single workout that I do with Courtney, I cannot move the next day. And it's great.
It's a great thing, not a bad thing.
Well, I mean, I don't get anything done the next day, but
Those are rest
right?
days. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But
Yeah.
it's awesome. She kicks my butt, and she also will listen. You know, if
Yeah.
there's something going on that I need to talk about, she'll listen.
Yeah. In addition to being an excellent trainer, she is an awesome coach. That's for
Yeah.
sure. Now, you've had a chance to speak with our life coach Whiskey in the past. Um,
Yes.
you don't have to get into detail. I know those are usually somewhat private conversations and could be somewhat intimate, but um, I obviously wasn't a part of that conversation. But can you give me some feedback on how your experience was on that one call with Whiskey?
Well, the call with Whiskey um, was because things have gotten to the point where they're overwhelming because of the things in the past of not being able to do a lot of things because of strength and energy and everything. So things piled up, and I don't get necessarily any help.
You talk about
And
like
I
around the house.
Yes.
Okay.
So I wanted to talk to Whiskey because I know that she's great with organization and decluttering and things like that. And I would, for weeks, just kind of look at everything, wanting to start somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
but it was so overwhelming that I would look and just stare at everything for hours. And I ended up talking to Whiskey for 2 hours.
Wow.
We ended up talking for 2 hours, and I worked the entire time, and we just talked, and it was great.
Yeah. I every time I get to talk to somebody that is either doing life coaching with Whiskey or a decluttering project, or have just even had an initial consultation with her, um, the impact that she's able to have in a relatively short amount of time, I'm
Mm-hmm.
always uh, I'm still surprised every time because the client usually messages me back within 15 to 20 minutes after their call, letting me know how beneficial it was for them and how much they got out of that conversation.
Yeah, Whiskey's great. I like even just watching the podcast with Whiskey.
Yeah.
Oh, I was in my head. She
Yeah,
has the way.
she does. She
She
has
gets
a way.
right to you.
Excellent life coach. That is for sure. I told her that, if my coach, if my personal counselor ever decides to retire, she's going to have a new weekly client because as a trainer and coach, honestly, what has helped get me here is continually surrounding myself with people that keep me accountable, that keep me focused on my goals, coaches, trainers of my own, things like that, that help me with different aspects of my life. Because I am addicted to personal development. I've been
Mm-hmm.
and have been for 12 years. It has drastically improved the quality of just my life and my relationships in my life with my kids, with my friends, with my coworkers, things like that. Where let's just say there was no, which we both know there's going to be obstacles and limitations. That's life. But we also know what we can accomplish when we set our minds to it at this point. So, can you give our listeners and viewers an idea of where your personal journey, where your personal development, where this path is eventually leading you to, even if it takes some work to get there?
Hmm. Honestly, just to be healthier and happier and demanding what I deserve.
Yeah, that's that's what all of us
That's,
should want in life.
yep,
Yeah, that's pretty good. That you think that would just be pretty much commonly what we would all strive for in life.
you would
Absolutely,
think, but it's
you would
not
think
real common.
it's not as common as we'd like it to be. That's for sure. Let's say someone sees this and they're just kind of perusing the internet and they're trying to check out the Team Hot Fitness team, or they're trying to just get more information. They're in that pre-decision phase. They're trying to pick or choose or discover what's best for them. Any advice you would give to somebody in a similar situation, whether that's dealing with a narcissist or putting themselves on the back burner, or maybe they have physical fitness goals or just goals outside of health and nutrition, and they were looking at Team Hot Fitness. Any advice that you would give them as far as what they could expect or what they should consider about working with our team?
I would honestly tell anyone who isn't working with I can't talk, that
Okay.
isn't working with Hot Fitness, that you should do it. Because if if you're like me and you have physical limitations, or you have things that you think are physical limitations, you don't. It's all of the workouts are customized. If you try something and it doesn't work, you try something else and it'll work.
Yeah.
That's pretty much like literally all of my workout sessions are we're trying something new to see what's going to work and what doesn't. And no matter what your limitations are, you're only as limited as you think you are.
Absolutely. Mindset's everything.
Yeah.
Mindset is everything. Well, I know that I was really happy that we got to meet in Kentucky back in January at the boot camp, at the TikTok meetup, and all that stuff. That was really cool for me. I would have never guessed at the time it would have turned into such an awesome relationship with what I would consider a really good friend at this point. Um, and I'm highly invested emotionally in your personal journey. And I hope to continue just to be able to see you just like blossom out of that cocoon and achieve everything that you set out to achieve. Uh, you look radiant. I love the smile on your face these days. And I still love watching you on TikTok. I still come creep your page and stuff. Um,
Oh, you creep my page? You don't like the stuff?
I know, yeah. I guess it's not creeping on TikTok. That's Facebook and Instagram. Of course, I like it. Yeah, um, yeah. There's so many social media platforms with different lingo. So yeah, you can't. Yeah. Um, awesome. If there, is there anything? Is there anything that you could think of? Any service you'd like to see us provide in the future? Anything at all that you think could help improve our quality of services or programming?
Hmm. I don't think so.
Cool. Well, if you ever change your mind, just let me know. We want to keep improving and doing the best that we can for you and everybody else. So I'm not going to take up too much of your time today. It's probably a work day, maybe. I'm not sure. No, it's a work day for
No,
me. I'm
I
working all
got
day.
laid off, remember?
Oh, furloughed. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a crappy time of year, but your spirits remain high, and I like that.
Mhm.
So, yeah, we're going to see about getting you another call with Whiskey soon, just for the fun of it. You'll see what you guys can accomplish. I know you like her. Courtney comes back this week, so you'll be working with her
Yeah.
again. Yeah, she's back.
I love you, Curtis, but I miss Courtney.
I know, man. That's totally cool with me. Believe me, the executive team is keeping me rather busy with other projects, so uh, that's okay with me. But I always love checking in with clients and seeing how their journey's coming along. So that's one cool part about my job is I don't always have to lose that connection as we grow and expand. I still try to reach out to every client and at least have a chat. So
Well, have you seen the one sound on TikTok? You've given me love and affection. Now you're stuck with me.
yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how this works.
We're happy to have you part of the family. I hope you know that. You're awesome. Um, well, that is. I think that's going to pretty much conclude our chat today. I appreciate you being on, and I'll let you know when this thing goes to air.